Hello and welcome to Little Thread Cafe. Today we'll be making Jiggle the Jelly. Okay, so the very first thing that we are going to talk about is our materials. I recommend you start off with a 3.5 millimeter crochet needle. You will also want to grab some, I use 100% cotton yarn, and this is a medium size 4, and it'll kind of give you an idea of what needles you can use with, or what's recommended to use with the yarn. All right, here's my little bag where I carry all of my crochet goodies, and you'll see me pulling out some shears actually. You can either use shears or scissors, whatever you want to do. Okay, and these are threading needles. The difference between a regular needle and a threading needle is that threading needles are a lot thicker, and that's because you're going to be threading with yarn rather than just simply string. So the eye has to be a little bigger. You can buy some of these in a kit through Amazon, or you can buy them at your local hobby or craft store. And you'll also be needing one of these needles so that you can finish off or attach pieces of your project together. Now, I also forgot to mention, and I don't have them with me here, but I will be bringing them out a little further into our project. But you will also be needing some safety eyes and backing, and the safety eye backing, so that you can make the jellyfish's little eyes, okay? And now we're gonna start off with a magic ring, and what you do is you grab you grab the yarn and you wrap it around twice over your fingers. You're gonna go under the first piece of yarn and over the second. You're gonna grab and pull and make a little twist. There you go. And then you're gonna grab the yarn that is attached to the yarn ball and pull through, and that will make your magic ring. Now this part is really important. I like to go and I like to remove the short piece of the yarn and just pull it out before I start making any kind of stitches. That way when you pull it closed, it'll close up a lot neater and it won't create any tangles or knots anywhere. Alright, so first thing we're going to do, we're going to crochet 6 stitches into the magic circle. That's 2. That's 3. 4. 5. And 6. That's the very last stitch, and what we're going to do next is so there you should be able to count your 6 stitches, and what we're going to do next is pull the ends of the yarn so that you close your magic circle. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put my yarn needle through the loop once more, just to mark that that is the latest that's the last crochet that I crocheted. And like I said, we're gonna grab the string and pull the project closed. Perfect. And that will have us going into our next round, which is round 2. Okay, so for round 2, we're gonna stitch an increase in we're gonna crochet an increase into every single stitch. And what an increase is you just basically do 2 single crochets into the same stitch. So you see there, I just did 1, and now we're gonna go back into that same stitch, and we're gonna do another single crochet. So it's 2 single crochets and 1 stitch. And we're gonna repeat until we end up with 12. That's another 2 in the same stitch, and we keep going from there. Okay, so we're almost at the end here, almost getting to our 12th stitch, and this is what your piece should look like for now. Let's count the stitches. So that's 1, 2, 1. That's the first stitch there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, so we're gonna now, oh, you see how I kind of messed up a little bit right there? That's okay. If you want to go ahead and undo your work and start over, you definitely can, but I'm not going to. Okay, let's head into round number 3. And for round 3, the pattern calls for 1 single crochet followed by an increase in the next stitch. You're going to repeat this 6 times for a total of 18 stitches. And before I get started, I'm going to go ahead and I am going to grab my stitch marker, and this stitch marker will just help you mark off your place before you start another round. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do 1 single crochet. You see there I marked it off, and that is where I'm going to put my stitch marker. Okay, so again, the pattern calls for 1 single crochet followed by an increase. So let's do it together. That first one was our first single crochet. Okay. Now we're going into the second one, the second stitch, and this one will be an increase. So again, an increase is just 2 single stitches in 1 stitch. And 1, 2, that's your increase there. So now you need to do 1 single crochet in the next stitch, followed by an increase. And just keep repeating this until you get to 18 stitches. All right, this is going to be our final stitch in the round. So if we go back, we should be able to count 18 stitches. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. There are 18 there, I promise you. And again, that stitch marker's there. Okay. Let's get us ready for round 4, where we will do 2 single crochets followed by an increase, and we will repeat this for a total of 6 times. So that's 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, and I'm going to stop there, grab my stitch marker, and then count 1 and 2. And that second one is where I want to place my stitch marker. So we should end up with a total of 24 stitches. And again, that's 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, followed by an increase. All right, here's the increase since we already did 2 single crochets. And increase number 1. Now, let's sort out the yarn out. And we will do 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, it if I can push it through. And the next one, yep, you guessed it, it'll be an increase. Awesome. Now keep it going until we get to 24 stitches, or you repeat 6 times. All right, I just finished round 4, and this is what it should look like. I'm gonna go ahead and take my stitch marker out, and we're gonna go ahead and get started with round number 5, which will be 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Followed by an increase in the next stitch. So it's 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to make sure to place my stitch marker at the first stitch. Oh. Oh, and you see there, kind of messed up. I put it on the 4th. Let's go ahead and move it 1 over to the left. That's the 3rd one. Okay, we got it. So that's 3 stitches followed by an increase. And you're going to repeat this 6 times until you get to 30 stitches. And this here should be your increase. That is 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet into 1 stitch. Perfect. Let's keep going. Alright, forgive me, I have some missing footage. Just know that you're going to have to complete round 6, 7, and 8. And if you want, just go ahead and pause the video and go through whatever, or at least complete whatever instructions you see. And this is what your project should look like once you get to round 8 and you have those 48 stitches. All right, very next thing you need to do, rounds 9 through 16, you're just going to do 48 stitches all around. And you can see there that I already have I'm about 4 rounds in, and that's because you see my stitch marker and you can count. See, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4 rounds, and I'm about to start on the 5th one. And that's how you can keep track. So just keep going until you're done. Okay, y'all. I was recording without... Sorry, I was acting as if I was recording without actually having pressed the record button, so yay me! I went back, tore it all apart, but here we are. So here we go. I also moved the camera a little closer, just to provide kind of like a better vantage point, just to like help you guys see exactly what I'm doing. So in this round, we're round 17. What we're going to do is we're going to do 6 single crochets followed by a decrease, and then we're going to do that 6 times, and we should end up with 42 stitches around. And this is the first time we do a decrease, so I will make sure to illustrate how it's done for you. Okay, so this is where I left off last time, and what I'm going to do is go in. I'll do 1, 2 single crochets. Oop. I wanted to go wild on me. Okay, 6 single crochets, and then what I'm gonna do is place the loop. So we did 1 and then 2. I'm gonna want it on number 2, and so we already have 2. So now we're gonna do another 4. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cool. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to work on that decrease. And this is how you do it. So you're going to go into the next stitch as you normally would. Then you're going to hook and pull through. But instead of going in and hooking and pulling through here, what you're going to do is you're going to go into the stitch after that. You're going to go through. You're going to hook and pull that yarn through. And you should now have these 3 loops over your crochet needle. Now what you're going to do is hook and pull through all 3. And this is what it'll look like. And that's an invisible decrease. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to get back into the single crochets. So that's the next one is here. You're going to do 1. And what you're going to see me do here is you're going to see me tighten a little. And so I'm pulling on the yarn, just making sure that this portion here gets a little tighter, because after we do our decrease, sometimes if the yarn gets loose, you end up with small holes in your crochet, and then that's not really good, because then you'll be able to see your fiber fill inside. Okay, so that was the first of 6 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Awesome. Now, we're going to do the decrease one more time. So again, go into that next stitch. You're going to hook around, pull through, and then go right into the following stitch. Hook around, pull through, and now you should have these 3 loops. Then you're going to hook around the string and pull through all 3. You may have to do this a couple of times just to get it right, only because sometimes it gets a little rough pulling through all 3 loops. You might get caught, your needle might get caught, or your yarn might get tangled, but if that happens, just go ahead and pull it, pull the yarn, and then start over again, okay? So now we're going to do this another 4 times, and I'll meet you guys once you guys are done, okay? Okay, I am back, and I've gotten to the very last decrease here. So you see how cool. So this is starting to take on a little bowl shape where you have your smallest point here, and then it started growing, and then you're gonna start seeing another decrease here for the bottom of the jellyfish. So we should have 42 stitches all around at this point, and we're heading into round 18. Okay, so I'm gonna take out my stitch marker, and for round 18, we're just gonna do 42 single crochets, but only in the front loops, and it's just gonna be 1 row, okay? So what this means is that you're only going to do, again, your regular single crochet, but in the front loop. So this will be your front loop, the one that's facing the outermost portion of your project. And then this is your back loop right here. So again, front loop, back loop. Okay. So we're gonna grab that front loop here. Oh, ooh, ooh, ooh. There we go. Grab that front loop, and you're gonna hook and pull through. Sorry, let me do that again for you. This yarn is being a little difficult. Okay. Grab the front loop. Boop. Hook around, pull through. This is a little more difficult because I just had a decrease as well. So I'm trying to like push these two together. And then hook and pull through. And that is the first one. Again, I am tugging just to make sure that the yarn is a little tight around that first stitch after the decrease. And then we'll do another one. So, see how best to show you. Front loop, hook, pull through, hook, pull through. Cool. I'll do one more for you. Next stitch, go through the front loop, hook, pull through, hook, pull through. And this is what they will look like. So you'll see the stitches only here on the front loop, and then you should have like some extra back loop stitches, or like the back loops here are available in the back portion of your project. Okay, so we're gonna keep going all the way around until you get to 42. Let's see, I did 3, 1, 2, and 3. I'll go ahead and I'll place my stitch marker there, and I will see you in 42 stitches. Okay, and this is what we've got thus far. And you see again, you're getting that little bowl is decreasing as we keep going down, as we keep progressing through our project. And this is what the inside of your project will look like. You see how you have that little ridge there made up of back loops? That's what you'll see, and that's what'll let you know that what you're doing is, boom, spot on. Okay, so I'm at my last stitch here, and for around 19, what you're gonna do is you're gonna do 3 single crochets in each stitch, and you're gonna end up with 126 stitches. So to demonstrate that, I'm gonna go ahead and take off our safety loop. Sorry, our safety marker, whatever you want to call it. I also prefer kind of crunching or like closing up my projects like this, because it's easier for me to hold the project and then crochet. So you may want to try it. If it works for you, that's wonderful. Okay, so the next loop will be, let me move the yarn. The next loop will, the next stitch is this one here. And yep, you're gonna do 3 stitches into that one. So you're gonna go hook, that's 1. And I can already like sense that it's gonna be a little tough, only because it is a small space to keep crocheting into. That's stitch number 2. And then I'm gonna go back into that same one and then do, yep, stitch number 3. So now you should have something that looks like this. That's 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and 1 stitch. And you're gonna keep doing that, 3 stitches into every single one until you get all the way around. So let me go ahead and mark that first stitch, and I will show you how to do it again, because practice makes perfect, right? Cool. Where's the next stitch? I'm gonna pull to tighten. Where's the next stitch? Yep, it's this one here. And so go in, loop through, pull out, 1, do it again, pull out, and then one more time. Okay. And pull out. Cool. So it's another 3 and 1 stitch. All right. So I guess I will meet you guys again after you're done with this round, and we'll see what we end up having. I mean, we should have by the end of this, the bottom of the jellyfish should start looking like the little ruffly part of the jellyfish. Let's see if I finish this next one, if you kind of start getting an idea of what it'll start looking like. So because we're like stitching so many stitches into like a single stitch, you'll see how you start kind of get that ruffle look at the bottom, and that's what we're going for. So when we go all the way around, we should get the ruffles all the way around, and then we can start working on the tentacles. Yay! Okay, we'll see you guys soon. All right, I'm back 126 stitches later, and yes, that was pretty tough. My fingers are definitely tired, but this is what it kind of looks like. This is the top view. This is the side view. See the ruffles there? That's so cute. And then this is the bottom view. There you go. Okay, so now what we're gonna start doing, well, let's see. The next part of the instructions calls to finish it off. So to finish off, let's remove our stitch marker. Boom. And then we're gonna slip stitch it closed. And this is what I like to do. You'll go into the following stitch. So the next stitch here is this one. And you will hook, pull through, but instead of going in and grabbing it again, what you're gonna do is you're gonna pull it through the next stitch as well. And this is a little tough. This yarn is not very pliable, but yeah. Okay, so I pulled it through that one as well. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna pull the yarn. I'm gonna grab my shears here, and be careful with the shears, like they are super pointy. And I am going to cut about here. It's giving you a lot of extra string to work with. And you're gonna keep pulling through. There you go. So now you have your end of your string here. Yarn. Why do I keep calling it string? And then you have your tie right here, or your knot, your slip stitch knot. What I'm gonna do now is I am going to try to hide that excess string just a little bit, and I do this by going into the next stitch and then just pulling, looping that extra yarn, and then I'm gonna pull it all out. So you're kind of just like weaving it through your stitches. So again, I'm gonna go in through here. Actually, no, I'm gonna go into the next one here. I'm gonna grab the yarn, and then going through the next one, and then pull through, and then going through the next one, and then I'm gonna pull through. Oh shoot, I think I undid what I just did. It's so hard to see. Okay. But you'll see what I'm trying to do. Is you keep weaving it through the stitches so that's so weird. Okay, so now it's in this one. So then we'll go in through this next one, and we'll pull it through. I blame it. I blame this on the 3 stitches. Okay, so now you see that it's kind of blended in. So now if you would go and cut it like really close, it is pretty like attached to your work, and it also doesn't look, it doesn't have like a rough finish, and you would be able to kind of hide the end of your project. But I'll go ahead and I'll leave the tail, and you call the excess here the tail, just in case we need to do any sewing, or just in case we need to close it off, or like do something in the bottom next. Okay, so yeah, leave a pretty long tail, and the next part of the instructions call for you to finish it off. We finished it off, and then it asks us to insert safety eyes on around 12, about 8 spaces apart. So that'll be round 12, and you can choose whichever part of your project you want the face of your jellyfish to be. And then you're gonna go, I'm gonna go this side. We're gonna turn it around. There we go. I thought that was a little too high, but we're gonna start from the origin. So that's 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so then this is our 12th row here, and that makes a lot more sense. So then I'm gonna go ahead and place my stitch marker here where I would want the eye. So I'd want it right there, and then I'm gonna count 8 stitches apart. So that's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I'm gonna place the other eye. You know what? I'm gonna go to 9. Let's do it right over here. And I will go ahead and grab, let's see if I have another stitch marker just to, oh, I have a needle here, a tapestry, or there we go. So I've marked that off, and then I will go ahead and grab my safety eyes. Be right back. These are my safety eyes here. Move the project. These are my safety eyes, and I bought these off of Amazon. They were pretty cheap, and they came in lots of different sizes. So for this particular project, I'm gonna go with the biggest of the eyes. And I totally forgot like how many, like how big it should be. So what I would do is I would just buy different sizes of eyes. Let me show you. This is by far, this is the biggest safety eye that I have. And then there are smaller ones like this size. And then it goes another 2 that are even smaller than that. So choose whichever one you think is best. If you want, like, maybe try out one eye. Actually, that might be cute. I kind of like that. Or this eye. Now we'll definitely go with the bigger eye. I think that's the cutest. Okay, now I am missing the back of some safety eyes. Fun. Okay. So we'll see if it'll work if I just use a smaller size. So this is how you attach a safety eye. First you push through the top of your project, and this is the back of it, of your safety eye. You see how it has these little ridges? Yeah, those little ridges here. This is the back of the safety eye, and ooh, I lost it. And it should lock so that it becomes attached. So go there, and what you do is you just push it through. And this is really hard because they're not the right size. And I'm too lazy to go and look for the other one. Okay, well, it looks like it looks like it's holding. Let's see if I give it a tug. Yeah, it's holding all right. Yeah, so I'll leave it like that. It looks like it's good. It looks like it's firmly attached. And I'll go into the next eye here. So I'll grab another one of my larger size eyes, and then I will insert here. So yeah, this is what it'll look like. And then if you want, you could even reverse it, or turn it inside out. Actually, let me go see if I can do this one more time. Push this through. Oh, ow. Okay. I think that did it. Give it a little tug to make sure. Yep. It's... all right. Yeah, it's on there. And we're going to start off with round 1. So we're starting again. 6 single crochets into a magic circle. So again, start off, in case you forgot, start off with our magic ring. And that's the end of the ring. The bottom side of your fingers. Then you wrap it around, wrap it over. I'm holding it with these fingers over here, the end of the yarn. And then I'm going to go under, over, pull through, twist. You see that twist there? And then I'm going to grab the yarn here and then pull through. So that kind of gives you a little knot there. Now that you have your knot, I am going to disentangle and free the short end part of the yarn. And then I'm going to grab hold of my magic ring, and now I'm going to make 6 single crochets into it. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Perfect. So like we did last time, after our 6 stitches is we're gonna pull the magic ring closed, like so. And now we're gonna do, for round 2, we're going to do an increase in each stitch. So again, an increase is 2 stitches and 1 stitch. So that's, I'm going into the first one there. I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And remember how we started off with 6 stitches on the magic ring? If we do an increase in each stitch, that should get us to 12, right? Because 6 times 2 is 12. Okay, now for round number 3, we're gonna do 1 single crochet and then an increase in the following one 6 times, and this should get us to 18 stitches. So now as we're moving up in number, that's when I like to pull out my handy dandy stitch marker. So again, the first one will be 1 single crochet, and we'll go ahead and mark that first one. Now we do an increase into the next crochet, which is this one here. 1, and then another one into that same stitch. Cool. Then we're going to do it again. Single crochet, and then increase into the next one. 1, 2, that's our next one, and then we're going to do it another 4 times, so we can get to 18 stitches. Okay, so this is where we're at now, and for round number 4 we're going to do 2 single crochets followed by an increase, and we're going to do that 6 times for a total of 24 stitches. So let me show you. That'll be 1, 2. Go ahead and attach my stitch marker, and then an increase after the 2. Cool. Let me show you guys one more time. 1, 2, and then increase. Going back into the same one, increase. And then go all the way around, and like I said, until we get to 24 stitches. All right, so we've gotten to round 5 now, and for round 5 we're going to do 3 single crochets followed by an increase. We're going to repeat this for 6 times, or we're going to repeat this 6 times, and we should end up with 30 stitches by the end of our row. So just for demonstrative purposes, we'll do 1, 2, 3, put that stitch marker in, increase on this one. All right, 1, 2, 3, increase on the next 1, and then second into that same one. All right, and then you'll go all the way around. Okay, we're coming up on round 6. So for round 6, we're going to do 4 single crochets followed by an increase, and we're going to repeat this again 6 times, and we should end up with 36 stitches. So let me demonstrate. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, and I won't get any more adventurous than that, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4 before I put my stitch marker in, and then we'll do our increase. 1 and 2. Cool. I'll do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 'followed by an increase. 1, I made these a little too tight. That's 1 and 2. Cool. Let's go all the way around. Okay, I've gone all the way around. Should end up with 36 stitches. And we're going to move on to row number 7. So you can probably see the trend. We're going to go into 5 single crochets followed by an increase. Do this 6 times and end up with 42 stitches. So this is what it'll look like. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'll stop here to put my stitch marker in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stitch marker goes here. And then I'll do increase in the next one. That's 1, 2. Do one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, increase. Cool. Now we're going to go all the way around until we end up with 42 stitches. Okay, we're now done with that, and it's tentacle time. Cool. So for the first row around, we are going to chain 45. Now on the link that I have below for the free pattern, it says to chain 30, and then round 2 said to single crochet 39. So I think what the person meant was to chain 40 and then single crochet 39 in the second round. But what I'm going to tell you guys is no, do chain right off the bat, just chain 45. Okay, so what I did right now, let's see, that is a slip knot, and that's just the way that I start my chains. You can start them whatever way you like, whatever works best for you. So now that I created my slip knot, what I'm going to do is I am going to chain 45, not 30, 45. That's my first crochet into the chain, my second, third, fourth, and fifth. Okay, so now you have your 45 single crochets, or your chain. Now what? For round 2, what you're going to do is start from the second chain, okay? So not the first, but the second. All right, that was the second stitch, and now you're going to do a single crochet. And you're going to keep going until you get to the end. So if you chained 45 single crochets, it should take about 44 single crochets so that you can reach the other end. And after that, what you're going to do is just tie off your project however you like to tie off. Okay, and I'm back, and just before actually finishing off the tentacle, I am gonna go ahead and show you just how I tied off the tentacles. So I'm gonna loop around and pull, go through, loop and pull, and then go in. And so I'm finishing up my crochets here. This is the very last stitch that you see there. Awesome. And so I'm gonna do a slip stitch through that one. So I went ahead and I grabbed, or you don't have to do a slip stitch. What you can do is you can either do a regular crochet, and that's what that would look like, or you can also do a slip stitch if you like, which I'm gonna do now. So I'm gonna go in, pull through, but instead of going and grabbing the yarn again, I'm just going to pull through that second loop, and that will slip stitch it closed. I'm going to use my shears to cut off the excess, and I left about maybe 3 to 4 inches worth, or maybe 4 to 5 inches worth of excess. Now I'm just going to pull it closed just to safely secure it, the end of the work. And now what you're going to do is you're going to wrap around, kind of making a little pigtail, just so that your tentacles look spirally, is that even a word? Spirally, like it shows in the picture. All right, now that is one. So what you're going to do next is you're going to make about 16 of those. You see how it's going to be fastened down below? All right, super excited to see what it comes out like. So yeah, this is what the tentacle looks like. You're gonna make about 16, no, yeah. You can make from 14 to 16 tentacles, and what you should do, or if you want to, you can use different colored yarn just to give the tentacles some color variety. And what I'm doing is I'm going to go with blues and a white just to give something, just to make a part of it pop, part of the tentacles pop. So I'm going to use these 3 different color varieties.
Okay, so
and now I'm going to be
make a total of 16
setting
tentacles.
up to attach the tentacles to the body.
I ended up making 6
so
of
you
these
see I
darker
have
blue
my
tentacles.
6 kind of dusty
And
blue
then
tentacles.
I chose a lighter blue, the dusty blue that I had originally
6
talked about.
of the baby blue
And
tentacles.
I also added some white.
And then 6 of
because,
the white
I feel like
tentacles.
It will stand out, so it'll create kind of a nice variation.
It was so cute, just like having them all there like
so yeah,
that.
Once
and
you're ready and you're done and you've made your
you know, I think I made more than
tentacles,
16, but I think one of my cats kind of like carried one off.
Put them over to the
All
side.
right, I'm gonna set those off to the side. And now for the fun part, we're gonna prepare to stuff the body
with our project. Okay,
of the jelly.
so
Stuff the blah blah blah. I can't talk. Stuff the
top of the
jellyfish's
project.
body, and we're gonna do that by grabbing some fiber fill.
And what we're gonna
And you can buy fiber fill at Michael's, Joann's, Walmart. I think has the cheapest one.
So that we can then,
or you can even get it off Amazon, wherever you want to buy it. So
that we can then attach
that's the bottom of the jellyfish that we made, and we're gonna we're gonna be attaching it to the top part of the jellyfish.
So what I do,
and see, this is where leaving a long tail comes in handy, because you're gonna need to use the tail to sew into to sew the 2 parts together. Okay, this is the fiber fill that I was talking about, and I'm gonna go ahead and stuff the jellyfish head.
You can also buy it at Walmart.
As far as how firm you want it, it's really up to you. I like going a little bit on the firm side, only because, like, say if you're squishing it, or like squishing the jellyfish, or any kind of plushie, you kind of want it to hold its shape. So I always just put just enough fiber fill so that when that rounded plushie is being squeezed, it's holding its shape. It's, you know, it's firm. It doesn't have any like divots, so that it looks kind of funky, if you know what I'm saying. And okay, I'm gonna adjust the height of my camera again one more time, just so that you can kind of get a better idea what I'm doing. Yay, now for the actual stuffing. Okay, I put some more fiberfill in there just in case I needed more. And now what I'm doing is adding a little bit more. And again, add however much you would like to add. And now I'm grabbing the bottom portion of the jellyfish. I'm gonna get my tapestry needle. Or you can also, I have that plastic one, but you can also use a metal needle, and that kind of makes it easier to push through yarn. But either way, it works just fine. Okay, so you see that tail there? That's what we're gonna use to close or to attach both parts of our project. I'm gonna thread the yarn through the tapestry needle now. It's always a little bit of a challenge, but you just have to be patient. Okay, I'm gonna leave a bit of a tail on that tapestry needle just so that if I pull, everything doesn't come undone. Okay, so I'm going to insert through the first part of the project and into the back loops that we left on the innermost part of the main project, the head. So now you're starting to see like, ooh, that's why I left those back loops, because they're gonna be coming in really handy when we're attaching the second part. Okay, so what you're seeing there is I'm just matching the loops and matching the loops from the bottom portion of the jellyfish to the larger body part of the jellyfish. I'm pushing the tapestry needle through and simply threading it. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna keep going all the way around until there's maybe like an inch opening where I'm going to revisit how much fiberfill I have, and I'm going to either add or take away depending on the firmness or lack of firmness of the project itself. Okay, I am gonna slow it down here and pause. So this is about as much as you should leave, and then before you go in and check to see if the firmness of your filling is where you want it to be. So again, like I said before, it was about 2 inches. Okay, so I have finished sewing together the two pieces, and this is what it looks like. And I decided to fill it up with a little more polyfill since when I was squeezing the sides of the head, it kind of didn't feel as firm as I would like it to be. So I definitely add a bit more filling, and yeah, this is what it will look like. So now we're going to primarily be working with the underside of the project. And what we're gonna do is just sew on the pieces
to the bottom and just kind of spread out the colors so that they mesh and blend well. And I'll show you how to go about and attaching a couple of the tentacles. So I'm gonna go ahead and attach one, we'll say about, just like, if you see like the seam here that you sewed together, I'd maybe go into the first one here and just, grab onto a stitch and pull. And I'm just going to do that a couple of times so that I make sure that the tentacle is attached. And once again, pull through. And just to be absolutely sure that it is firmly attached, I am going to not make another loop into the same one, but now I'm going to go crosswise. So I'm going to go as if I'm making an X, and I'm going to go across the other way. Cool. And so, yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with how attached the tentacle is. And to like finish my steps, I'm gonna insert next to the tentacle, and I'm gonna just push through the project as much as I can, and that'll have my needle coming through somewhere around the top. And I'm gonna pull so that the string comes out here. Alrighty, so I'm gonna look at the bottom here and then the top, and I have that piece of string coming out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a little bit on the top and then cut the string, and you'll see that it just disappears right back into the head, so you won't really see the outside portion, or you won't see it sticking out. And so for the other shorter string, or the shorter piece of yarn, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to try to kind of weave it in. So I'm going to grab my crochet hook again, and I'm gonna insert into a stitch there, and then grab the shorter piece of yarn, and I'm gonna pull through. Cool. And I'm gonna go back in. Actually, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go back in and just try to pull it through again, just so that both parts, just to make sure that that tentacle is firmly attached. And I'll go ahead and I'll cut the string, or cut the yarn. And yeah, that's how we're gonna attach all of the tentacles until we have a bunch of them down here.
Okay, and time for me to show you guys the finished product. This is kind of what he looks like. He's like about as big as like half of my hand, maybe as big as my palm. And you see the underneath there, it's pretty neat. But you're not really gonna be, if you kind of have a lot of multicolored yarn kind of poking through, it's fine. You're not really going to like have anybody really looking at the bottom. It's mostly going to be up top here, and you have enough tentacles so that it kind of covers up the underside anyway. So yeah, this is Mr. Jellyfish, Jiggle the Jellyfish. And yeah, don't forget to support the websites that I'm going to share. I'm just looking for different sites that has free patterns out there. I was buying a lot from Etsy, and I was like, hey, why don't I just look for some free patterns out there, right? There must be some. So I'll keep browsing the web and seeing what other free crochet patterns I can find. And yeah, go check out, let me see, what website did I get it from? I'll tell you right now. It's Amigurumi, amigurumi.com, and if you just go and you search for free patterns, or like in the little, they have a tiny little search bar, and just go ahead and click on, just type in free, click go, and it'll show you some of the other free patterns that are there But yeah, I'm gonna keep making some of these videos so that if you guys just want to crochet with me, we can do it together. All right, well, thank you, and be on the lookout for more videos. Bye, take care, happy crocheting.